Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up. Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up.
Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new What If, and it's a DBZ What If. Well, not exactly. It's a Naruto What If, but with DBZ concept. And I've been wanting to do this one for so long, but for some reason my other What If series was dragging out for too long. And I'm not gonna lie to you, my channel was dead. It died. So I wanted to hopefully bring this back. I mean, hopefully this brings it back a little bit. If it don't, it don't. And depending on how this episode does, that's how I'm gonna work my new series from now on. Depending how the first episode does, depends if it gets another. But after, if the first episode goes good, then I'll continue it. But this was terrible, no hard feelings, I just won't make another part, I'll delete it or something. Yes, I hope you do enjoy. And other than that, let's get straight into the episode. Actually, I didn't even tell you. Like goal for I nearly said like goal for the next part. Just the like goal without needing the next part, so you'll get the next part anyway, is gonna be, can we try get 200 likes? I know that's a stretch, but we normally get 200 likes on our first parts. But yeah, other than that, let's jump straight into this. The series is, what if Naruto could absorb people like Majin Buu? I know you're confused, but the way this is going to work is, literally what it is, he can absorb people like Majin. He doesn't fuse with them, he gets their abilities and takes a part of their personality. Yeah, but it works, he literally absorbs them and all that. He don't get a different appearance and all that, but yeah, they just get end off basically. But other than that, let's get straight into this. We're starting off in a far, far away universe. Almost a different dimension, a parallel universe actually. Actually, yeah, we start off in a very far away parallel universe with an evil wizard named Babidi and a spawn of Satan named Kid Buu. They run away from Beerus the Destroyer, god of destruction, and his handyman Whis. And just a few minutes before their call, Babidi knows what he has to do. If he cannot be the king of this universe, the king of destruction himself, he is at least going to unleash this destruction on another universe just like his. Even if he doesn't get to be there to see it. He starts doing magic. I don't know magic. And Kid Buu is entered into a weird soul-like form, well, against his own will, and his actual consciousness, his will, is demolished, completely erased, it seems. But his personality is slightly there. And Babidi opens a portal, a gateway to another universe, a parallel one to his, and he launches Kid Buu through, and he manages to find the perfect host for this ability in the meantime. And that is inside the womb of someone who's just about to give birth. And we know this to be Kushina. And unknown to anyone, this power enters into her womb. And we're cutting straight into the start of this What If. The Nine Tails is attacking the Leaf Village, and everything goes to plan. Everything goes the same as canon. Minato fights him off, and Naruto's born. Naruto's born just as Minato is preparing to fight off the Nine Tails. But one thing that is caught Kushina and Minato off guard is Naruto's bright pink eyes and his mischievous smile. It wasn't cute, you could tell he was ready, he was gonna cause some trouble. Not harm, but like, he was one of them kids who'd mess about in school basically. He's the class clown. Everyone loves him. Everyone will love him. Oop. I don't know if I just paused my, I didn't. But yeah. And everything goes to canon. Minato uses the deep Reaper Death Seal and tears out the Nine-Tailed soul, but before he can even split it in half, Naruto, acting as if he's known this entire time, his purple eyes glow, and his hand reaches out. His skin quickly turns to this somewhat pink slime, and it extends out around the Nine-Tailed soul, and it sucks inside him. The seal still appears on his stomach as as Minato had to put the silt on the Nine Tails to contain it. But Naruto's absorbed this power more directly, and the whiskers in his face are a bit more apparent. And he gets the Kyuubi eyes naturally. They're always in new eyes, like when he gets his pupils, but they're like sharp. But his eyes are still purple, but he has that natural look. And Minato dies, Kushina dies, and the third Hokage finds Naruto, and seeing his eyes and seeing the still, he understands what Minato's done. But seeing how Naruto's eyes are in like that Kyuubi form, that's what I'm just going to call it, because I want to call Kurama Kurama, but I'm going to call him Kyuubi. Seeing his eyes are in Kyuubi form, but they're also pink, he thinks that the still is incomplete, but when he looks at it, the still's perfect. It's even different to what Minato knows. It's more perfect than it should be. With this, the Nine Tails shouldn't be able to leak out at all, not ever. And the third Hokage's assumption is Minato is so great, he's found a way to make it so Naruto can draw on the Nine Tails chakra without his personality being altered. Sorry for the stuttering. Basically, my sister was coming downstairs and it was a bit noisy again. I know, 2 times in a row. Have some respect, mate. Anyway, yeah, that's what the third Hokage assumed. That Naruto could draw on the Nine Tails chakra without any personality change, without it being taken over, without the Nine Tails having any chance of escaping. And he gave all the credit to Minato. None of the credit to our little boy Naruto. He just soloed the Nine Tails, basically. And yeah, so Naruto lives his normal life, but this time instead of being bullied for being Demon Boy, he gets called Fox Eyes or Demon Eyes. And blah blah, but something with Naruto's different. He's more mischievous. Like his pranks are on another level. Like instead of painting the Hokage's face, he paints people's shops, and especially the people who mess with him. Naruto's stronger than your regular kids. How can I put this into perspective? He's as strong as Kid Goku was, basically. Like, he can lift cars and all that. So when people try to mess with him, didn't really end well with them. Especially after Naruto was able to absorb the Nine Tails chakra. But something that Naruto has kept to himself is he can't really be injured. He figured it out when he was little. He was being chased by villagers, which it isn't really fun for Naruto, but he can get away quite a bit easier. But for one night, shinobi were drunk, and they chased him through the village and into the forest, and one of them not being able to see Naruto chucked the kunai. Not meaning to hit him, more to scare him, but where they couldn't see him, the kunai actually stabbed straight through Naruto's chest. At first, Naruto thought it was going to be hot and nearly screamed until he realised he felt no pain. And he looked down and just saw a hole. He covered his mouth to stop his scream, but before anything else happened, a weird pinkish goo filled up the hole and returned back to being normal skin. Over time, Naruto realised that he can turn his body into this pink goo, and also absorb certain stuff. And also he had access to a beam where he can make something into something else, and he mainly uses this to eat sweets because for some reason he loves eating sweets. And yeah, he figured out over time where Naruto has less of a, oh no I feel bad. He didn't really see problems as he was little killing a deer to survive. He didn't go out of his way to kill stuff, but if it meant his survival and compared to something else's, he chose him. And he killed a deer one day to eat. And he actually ended up testing out something. He absorbed it. He absorbed its corpse. And he suddenly felt himself being more nimble, being able to change directions, basically more agility. And you realise he took on a bit of an ability of it. Over time, Naruto would go on to absorb more and more animals, until eventually he's absorbed a few, such as wolves. And with that, he had gained the sort of ability to exert dominance over someone with just a glare. And also, he can bite really, really hard. And then a bull. He just found out he could headbutt something insanely hard, like incredible. And as he absorbed more and more animals, he gained their abilities. But he also progressed at a far faster rate than others. And it's his first day into the academy. Not into the academy. Yeah, first day in the academy. And he walks in and everyone makes faces at him, but he lets out a bit of bloodlust, which he has the ability to do. Kurama, come on guys, what can't Kurama do? And it scares them a bit. One of Naruto's most useful abilities is the one he's got from that wolf where he could assert dominance on something. as it kept most people away from him and gave him a bit of a shiver. This worked on everyone except for Sasuke Uchiha. And Naruto assumed it was actually, we're not getting into that. And Naruto assumed it was because he was trained to be, he's the number one Uchiha. This is before the Uchiha massacre, by the way. He's the number one Uchiha, blah blah. The Uchihas are number one, so they shouldn't be afraid of anything. He still gave Sasuke a little bit of a shake, but Sasuke stood his ground against him. Before that, Naruto actually respected Sasuke, and vice versa, as Naruto was the only person except for his father and Itachi that made Sasuke actually get a bit of a fear inside him. Not fear, but like could make him tremble a bit. But one thing was apparent that's different from canon was Naruto isn't the bottom of his class, he's the top of the top. Jutsu was easy for him. Controlling his chakra was perfect. He could do it without even thinking, basically. And he was incredibly physically strong, fast, he was intelligent. And he had to act, all his teachers reported, even though most of them hated him for being the Kyuubi, like the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. If it came to it, Naruto wouldn't freeze up, he wouldn't halt. If he had to make a choice, he would make it. And that's one of the most vital things a shinobi can do. Naruto wouldn't hesitate if he had to, like when they did training exercise like hunting, which apparently did. Like if it came to it, Naruto didn't hesitate to kill like a deer or anything like that. Of course, you could say that's because Naruto done it from a young age. But even at a young age, Naruto was fine doing this. But we're gonna time skip to the Uchiha massacre. While Itachi's caught up torturing Sasuke with the Magenko Sharingan, Naruto heard the screams and he rushed in to help. Naruto's still a good kid, he's just mischievous. Sorry if you just had my mum sneeze, she's not that well. Not like that, but she just got a bit of a cold. But when he saw the dead bodies, what everyone, a normal kid would do, would be scream and shout. Naruto was very, very, very calm. Death wasn't anything new to him, not because of like that, he just felt normal with it. It was a normal thing for him. Even as a little baby, if he saw death, it was normal. And that was because Kid Buu he's destroyed how many planets? And he wasn't fazed by death, he actually enjoyed it. But good for us, Naruto didn't enjoy it, it just didn't faze him. And he saw around and saw a bunch of Uchihas laying there lifelessly. Naruto, without any hesitation, actually absorbed one of the corpses. And then this is normal for a kid, but remember, this doesn't affect him, he's not normal. And after absorbing multiple Uchiha bodies, I'd say about half of them without being noticed, until Itachi finally noticed him and actually was quite a bit annoyed that even though he killed them, he still wanted them to have proper burials. But when he tried to slice them, Naruto easily dodged. As everything he absorbed, he got the strength that he absorbed from them was added onto his own. And he just had the strength of about, I'd say, 100 Uchihas added onto his own. And he ducked down, and he was dodging through Itachi's blades. But even though he had the strength of all these Uchihas, it wasn't enough to keep up with Itachi. And even though it was a little kid, Itachi was still enraged. Sasuke's still stuck in this genjutsu. Itachi goes to slice off Naruto's arm, which he actually does successfully. But Naruto isn't phased, and he spins around and kicks Itachi in the face. Itachi activates his Sharingan, as he didn't expect this little kid who should still be in the academy to pack such a punch. And he's so composed for someone who's losing his arm, who just lost his arm. That's when he sees that this pink goo flies past his face and attaches to the arm that was just severed, and it completely heals. Itachi's very confused, as no one's seen Naruto do this before, but he's even more confused when he sees Naruto's purple eyes quickly get Tomoe. Not purple, his pink eyes quickly get Tomoe. And Itachi says to himself, a pink Sharingan? Impossible. Itachi sees this as his time that he needs to leave. Leave Shinobi on his way, so he quickly leaves. Still curious, and he's got Naruto stuck in his mind. Naruto, not fully aware of what's happened, but he knows he has to leave as well, disappears in a flash, and leaves Sasuke's body unconscious. He gets home to look in the mirror and sees his new eyes, and he figures out that he can quite easily deactivate them and reactivate them. He sees that when his new eyes that are activated, and he heard Itachi call it a pink Sharingan, are activated, everything slows down, and he understands stuff a lot better, and he can sort of see the chakra and stuff, or at least this blue energy. But one thing that caught him off guard was he suddenly saw a line in his vision, and he quickly moved out of the way, and the pot above him that was on his shell fell. He soon realised that with his pink eyes that he could see the danger before it happened, and he could see the troll that will come out. But he quickly deactivates this and go to sleep. We're gonna skip to the last day of the academy where they get their exams. Of course, Naruto passes it with flying colours and is given his headband. But we go to outside of the academy where Mitsuki goes to him. Naruto, I heard that if you want to become a straight Jonin, because Naruto dreams to be the next Hokage. If you want to be a next Jonin, you have to steal the Sacred Grove ceiling as a prove your test to be able to sneak past trained ninjas. Naruto, even though he's strong, fast, he isn't exactly a genius, and he falls for it. He's still a kid. But after he steals the scroll quite easily, as he can create himself into goo and just stick to anything and float around like that. Yes, that is an ability. He steals the scroll quite easily, and he's learning jutsu from it with his Sharingan activated. He finds that reading stuff is much faster, and he absorbs it quicker. Is learning these jutsus, reading them, doesn't even need to attempt them. He actually decides to do a shadow clone, and he creates it. And when he reads it, it's a clone that can actually be tangible. Like it can be content. It can fight for you. It can do this. And he's curious, would they have the same ability of Pink Sku? And Naruto pulls out a kunai, which he got given as he just passed his exam. He got given one kunai, one shuriken as a token. It's not meant to be used. It's meant to be more like a trophy, like a memory. And he slashes his shadow clone. And yes, it's got the same gooey-like texture as him, but he finds it can only take roughly about 5 hits before it poofs into smoke. But he's happy. He's learnt the entire scroll. And that's when Iruka finally finds him sitting there, as he was notified, and it's the same as canon. And he starts screaming at Naruto and bonks him over the head, until he finds out that Mitsuki told him to steal it. It's then Iruka finally notices Naruto's eyes, a pink Sharingan. But before he even gets a chance to, Naruto sees a massive warning and a trail of danger coming towards Iruka. He grabs Iruka and ducks him down. As they both duck down, a massive kunai flies past them and hits the tree just behind them. Iruka turns around and sees Mitsuki and thinks, "Damn it, I was right, you traitor. Trying to get the scroll ceiling stolen and blame it all on Naruto. He's a kid, how dare you?" Mitsuki laughs and says, "A kid? He's an Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. He basically killed your parents." Hearing this, Naruto is confused. He knows what the Nine Tails is, as Naruto actually enjoys studying a bit, and he's read about him. And he knows what a Jinchuriki is. He's not at all fazed by this. He just says, I'm the Jinchuriki, cool. This shocks both of them, as normally when someone finds out they're a Jinchuriki and they didn't know it before, they're distraught. As everyone knows that Jinchuriki is basically a demon. Well, that's what they think. But before they even get the chance before Naruto even decides to run away, he decides it's time to test out his new abilities. At first he keeps it simple, and throws a massive fireball jutsu at Mitsuki. This shocks both of them, as no one's taught Naruto this. But Mitsuki says, he's always been top of his class, I'm not surprised. If Sasuke Uchiha can do it, I don't have a reason for him not to. And she thinks that he's easily caught Naruto by slicing at him, but Naruto saw this coming and easily moves out of the way before it even happens. And does not more hand signs. Claws of electricity appear on his hand, and he slices Mitsuki's chest, not killing him, but making him fall to the ground screaming in pain. It wasn't a normal electricity claws. This is actually paralysed Mitsuki with electricity, wrapping around and electrocuting him as Naruto keeps the jutsu active. And he looks down at him. Before Iruka can interfere, Naruto charges up to more pure electricity and digs it through Mitsuki's chest, killing him. And then Iruka looks as Iruka looks away, just ashamed and disappointed. Not ashamed, he's just sad for Naruto. No kid his age would get their first kill. But he knows that it's the way of the shinobi and it's going to happen sooner than later. He'd just rather it would be later. As Iruka's watching Naruto kind of forgets he's there, and he absorbs Mitsuki's body. And this shocks Iruka, but Naruto, quickly seeing this, looks into Iruka's eyes, doing it as almost it was also naturally, erases the memory of this happening using his Sharingan. His Sharingan isn't normal, it has more abilities than it should, but we'll get into them in later parts. And after absorbing Mitsuki, he gets a different type of power. Remember, Mitsuki had a curse mark, and he feels this type of chakra flood through his body, but he ignores it for now. And as the other shinobi show up, Mitsuki informs them with the memory that was implanted that Naruto informs them that Mitsuki was severely injured, but he managed to get away. But he's most likely going to die of blood loss, and he credits the win to Naruto for distracting him as Haruka to stab a kunai for him. He earnest the ambush search for Mitsuki's body but never find him, and they assumed he must have fell into the river, got float, and was the current took him away. And I know that's not normally what would happen to search for him until they find him, but we're going to go with it. But Naruto gets actually congratulated and is given one wish from the Hokage. And Naruto just asked for a better house. Ernest, the third Hokage, was extremely guilty as he actually forgot about Naruto's living arrangement as he was so busy with paperwork. And I know that's a very terrible excuse, but I just want Naruto to have a better house. And feeling so guilty, he actually moves Naruto into his house, a mega mansion, I'm saying. And that means that Naruto now has access to the third Hokage's training, better resources, and a good house. And if you do enjoy this part, guys, I hope you do share your friends and family. Share your hit the like, go 50 likes. You're gonna get a next part anyway if this part does well. And other than that, peace out, guys. Subscribe. Get me the 20k subscribers before March. I'm hoping at least. Other than that, peace out, guys. Bye.